So to kick us off, I'm going to hand it over to Parker, who's going to be sharing some ideas about vein scanning for autonomous mammal detection. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and Parker, whenever you're ready, it's all yours.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. My name is Parker DePond, and I would just want to give a little bit of background about myself before I dive into my short little presentation. Uh, I graduated from Iowa State University in 2023 with a degree in animal ecology and have been hopping around from seasonal jobs and seasonal research positions ever since. Um, and when I was at my undergrad at Iowa State University, I started developing this hypothesis of using NIR spectrometry for autonomous wildlife traps, and have ever since been developing it in my own free time. And I'm hoping to take the idea and expand it in grad school coming up next year. But I wanted to also give a little bit of background about the technology itself. So breaking down NIR spectrometry, NIR stands for near infrared light. There is no clear definition on the wavelengths that is. Everyone has their own definition. The region that we're going to be talking about is what's shown there. And spectrometry is just the interaction between light and matter. So putting that all together, my project is using near infrared light to look at specifically vein patterns. And there's essentially two reasons why you would do this. The first of which being you need to give somebody an IV. You can use near infrared light to view the vein patterns and then project it as shown here. And then the other reason is for biometric security. And that's really what we're going to be talking about today, is using near infrared spectrometry for individual identification. There are two regions of the body this is commonly done, at least in humans, and that is palms and in a retina scan, both looking at the venous patterns, just depending on where in the body. And they essentially work the exact same way. You're looking at the vein patterns, and through that, you're able to get a unique identification. It works essentially just like a fingerprint. You're able to get a unique identifier that way. And I am interested in exploring if this technology can be used in wildlife research and wildlife studies. The way that you get a unique identifier through a vein pattern is using a convolutional neural network, a CNN, if you're familiar with those. They've been more popularized recently as it is the backbone essentially of modern artificial intelligence. But what CNNs, convolutional neural networks, are really good at is pattern identification, which is very, very useful if you have a large data set of potentially hundreds of thousands of individuals and you need to get a unique identifier that way. Yes, so in the interest of time, move on to my proposed research, which is broken down into four parts, essentially. The feasibility of it. There haven't been any research or studies done essentially using this technology across different species or multiple taxa. And so the first question I need to ask is, can you get a sufficiently reliable detection across multiple taxas and species? And are those stable enough across long time frames from months to years? Can you repeatedly identify the same individual? If that's proven to be true, I'll move on to the methodology behind the practice. What's the best method to get of vein identification? How does hair affect it? Hair density, body location, the sensor type, LEDs, so on and so forth to get the most reliable results. If I can do both of those things, how practical is this really? Is it going to be cheap? Is it going to be reliable? And is it going to work in the field? And finally, the implementation, which is like the big overarching picture, is taking this technology and instead of using it handheld while you have an individual in a trap, can it be used autonomously to detect individuals? Yeah, I think I'm just about at my time. And so I want to open up the floor to any questions that you have for me about it, as well as I want to present some questions to you of, does the community at large think that this is useful or practical? And would you use this in your own research? So thank you so much for your time today.
I'll let other people. I'll give it a moment to let anybody else chime in. Because I have a question, but I don't want to step on anyone's toes. Feel free if you don't have access to a mic to put it in the chat, and we'll call it out. But I might go ahead and ask my question anyway. Like, what types of people do you think are you looking to like discuss any of like the feasibility of this with? Is it like biologists, like ecologists, like field researchers, all the above? Because I feel like some of those questions, the granularity of the questions posed is like are sort of on different scales and in different sort of like specific like specialty areas. Or is it just everybody? You're open to it all.
Yeah, definitely open to it all. I have been able to get a few different professors at different universities. I got a engineering professor at University of Boulder who was interested in it. And he has also been working on autonomizing a leg trap essentially, and thinks that this technology could be useful. I think it's early stages of implementation. It's mostly going to be useful for endangered species where you really don't want to tag them in any way. If you're worried about sedating them to put a pit tag in, or you're worried about the effects that any sort of tattooing or tagging will have on the individual, I think that's where it will really be useful. And then larger scale, yeah, using it in an autonomous mammal trap. Yeah, it's really interdisciplinary. So I think that's one of the reasons why it's difficult that I've been finding an advisor interested in it. But yeah, it's one of the reasons I'm here today. Hopefully somebody will have some suggestions and answers.
Well, it looks like Kalindi in the chat said that she thinks she knows somebody who's using vein patterns for bat identification. So I don't know if you're aware of that research or anything, but maybe you guys can connect and figure out if there's something going on there. That could be cool.
Yeah, I am not aware, but I'm interested.
You're about to get aware, and that's the beauty of Variety Hour. Um, we're just at time. If anybody has any more questions or thoughts for Parker, or ideas or leads or anything, please feel free to put them in the chat. Thank you so much again, Parker, for that. I'm super excited to see what comes out of this, hopefully.